Well, guys, welcome aboard. Let me introduce myself to you. I am Captain Blue. I'll be doing the tour today. Doing our driving today is Gene, the dancing machine, we call him. We all have a few safety rules on this duck. Number one, and most importantly, it's a sitting duck, so everybody needs to remain seated while we're in motion. Keep all arms, hands, legs, toes, kids, anything you want to take home with you inside the duck today. If you got a hat on that you're attached to, make sure it's attached to your head. We don't want anybody losing a hat today. And ladies, I'll tell you right now, I'm not responsible for what your hair looks like when we get back. It's a non-smoking duck. So that being said, you guys ready to go for a duck ride? Fired up, Gene. So if you guys will all look to the left and smile on the count of three, Bryce is going to take a picture. 1, 2, 3. Did that work? Okay. We are on our way. Gene, let's go out the strip on the first trip. Now guys, the very first thing I want to point out to you this morning, immediately to your right over here is the Branson Police Department, also known as Krispy Kreme Donuts. Now listen, we kid around with those guys and gals, but you know what? They do an awesome job around here. Along with our EMTs, our fire department, our first responders, they all do a wonderful job around here. But that doesn't mean we can't kid around with them a little bit, right? Right. And if we had gone the opposite direction for about half a mile, you'd see our new police substation that opened up about a month ago. That's right, we got a Dunkin' Donuts now too. Matter of fact, that Dunkin' Donuts is also got a Baskin Robbins in it, so you can get your donut with a scoop of ice cream on it too. How many people are riding the duck today for the very first time? All right, we like first-time duck riders. You guys don't have a clue as to whether we're doing it right or wrong. We like that, yeah. And how many of you guys had never been to Branson before you came here the first time? Everybody, huh? Hey, over here to the left, Presley's Country Jubilee. That was the very first theater to be built out here on 76 Country Boulevard. They built that theater 50 years ago. They just recently celebrated their 50th anniversary of entertaining folks out here in 76 Country Boulevard. Built that theater in 1967. In 1967, I was only 2 years out of high school. To your left over there, Hollywood Wax Museum. Did you guys see King Kong way up on the top there? You know how he's able to hang on to that building through wind and rain and sleet and snow, Rose? No. Gorilla Glue. Hey, you guys from Texas, you know where Wiley, Texas is? Guess who's from Wiley, Texas? Over there to your left, Clay Cooper. That's who's from Wiley, Texas. And to your right is the Titanic, probably our most famous museum out here. If you have not been to the Titanic before and you're planning on going, try to go by noontime. 99-cent luncheon special in there. Iceberg lettuce. Do you guys see the Ferris wheel way down there to your right? They just are celebrating their first anniversary of being open here. Has anybody ridden on the Ferris wheel since they got here? Probably haven't had time yet. But if you get to ride it, you might want to ride it at nighttime. It's got 16,000 LED lights on it. It is beautiful at nighttime. Awesome display of lights. Anybody know where that came from? Yeah, we don't either. It just showed up last year. We were like, where did that thing come from? No, that came from Chicago. That was the Navy Pier Chicago Ferris wheel. And they wanted a bigger one in Chicago, so they took it down. They built one 100 feet taller than that one. That's 150 feet tall. They sold it to the people that own the go-kart tracks here in Branson. And they're celebrating their first anniversary. I'm going to show you guys some things you can do for free while you're in there. And over there to your right is one of them. That's Curling Vine Winery. And they have free tours in there. They also have free samples, fruit juices for the younger people. And Missouri's got over 120 wineries in the state now. And they have become the 8th largest wine-producing state in the country. I think you guys probably all know what number 1 is, right? California. But not too many people know what number 2 is. New York State is number 2. Missouri's rather proud to announce that we are still number 1 in wine consumption now. Just kidding. But anyways, they have free tours. I'm going to show you a few more things you can do in the area that don't cost any money. I know when I'm away from home, I always like doing free things. To your left over here, you're going to see the Branson Craft Ball. That's a very popular destination with people. They have a lot of working craftsmen in there. And you can actually get some real lunch in there. They have the Pick and Porch Deli located inside. You can get lunch or dinner at the Pick and Porch Deli. Today is, today's July the 10th, Rose. Anybody on board celebrating a birthday? You got a birthday today? Oh, tomorrow. That's close enough. How old are you going to be? 11 years old. Awesome. Congrats. Happy birthday a day early. How about wedding anniversaries? Got any wedding anniversaries on board? How about newlyweds, honeymooners? Any of those on board? So all we got is your birthday tomorrow. You know when my birthday was? It was a week ago today. A week ago today. Yeah, hit the big one. Hit the big one. 70. But you know what? I don't feel a day over 68. I really don't. Hey guys, over there to the right, that's the Runaway Mountain Coaster. Unfortunately, they ran into some weather-related issues, and they are closed right now. About 4 or 5 weeks ago, we had 5 inches of rain in 1 hour. And they had a lot of erosion over there and washed away some of their tracks, so they're trying to get all those repairs done. And when we had that flash flood, this creek over here to the right, which is known as Fall Creek, it was about 6 feet out of its banks. And that is Fall Creek over there, and we are what's known as the Fall Creek Valley area. And in 1907, a fellow by the name of Harold Bell Wright wrote a book. And the name of that book was called The Shepherd of the Hills. And it went on to become one of the most widely read books ever written. It was a novel, and it was based upon life here in the Ozarks. Harold Bell Wright was living here when he wrote the book. 1941, they made a movie out of it starring John Wayne. But they know that a lot of people read that book, and the reason they know that is people started coming to the Ozarks in the early 1900s to see what Harold Bell Wright had written about. And in particular, what they really wanted to see were all the lakes around here that he described in his book. People were coming here for fishing. And that was long before the entertainment business started. The entertainment business, well, it really didn't get started until the late 1950s. Now, some of the early pioneers in the entertainment business included names like the Baldovers, the Presley family, Silver Dollar City, which opened up in 1960. They were all the early pioneers in the entertainment business. And things went along pretty smoothly for quite a few years, a little bit of expansion every year. But then in late 1991, something rather significant happened. CBS came to town, and they did a special on Branson, and it was on 60 Minutes. And they know a lot of people saw that show, because in 1991, they think about 3 million people came to Branson. But the following year, in 92, after that show was on 60 Minutes, they estimated 6 million people came to Branson. And it has expanded to the point where last year, Branson set a record. Almost 9 million visitors came to this little town of 11,000 people. Now you know why we got traffic problems. Well, guys, let me tell you a little bit about what you're on right now. These are Army ducks. They're amphibious vehicles. That means we can go on land, we can go on water, and we're going to do both of those things today. But duck is an acronym, and you spell duck, D-U-K-W. And each one of those letters has significance. The D stood for the year of design, 1942. The U stands for utilitarian amphibious vehicle. The K stands for front-wheel drive, and the W stands for rear-wheel drive. And between 1943 and 1945, they built over 21,000 of these ducks for World War II. They built them in Pontiac, Michigan, and St. Louis, Missouri. Of course, way back then, they had a little 6-cylinder engine in them and a 5-speed manual transmission. But today, guys, we got a 427 Chevy V8 engine up front. We've got an Allison automatic transmission. Hey. Yeah, these ducks run much better. Now, we've left that Fall Creek Valley area, and we're going into what's known as the White River Valley area. And the White River starts in northwestern Arkansas, and it flows into Beaver Lake. Beaver Lake then flows into Table Rock Lake. That's the lake we're going to go to today. Table Rock Lake flows into Lake Taneycomo. You guys are going to see Lake Taneycomo. Lake Taneycomo flows into Bull Shoals Lake. Bull Shoals Lake flows back into the White River around Mount Home, Arkansas. Then the White River flows all the way across to the Mississippi. You guys know where the Mississippi flows to. So all the water you see today will eventually end up in the Gulf of Mexico. And as Gene takes us around this curve here, way out in front of him. If you haven't seen it before, Table Rock Dam. Now you're going to get to see it a little bit better in a few minutes because we're going to drive right across the top of it. But first of all, we have to get up the hill. And you know what? These old ducks were not built for speed. As a matter of fact, top speed in a duck is only about 45 miles an hour. And Gene explained to me the other day, he's got to be going downhill with a tail lift to do 45. You guys see the big building up there in front of us with the green roof on it? That is Chateau on the Lake. That is a great resort, hotel, convention center. And if you're ever in the area and you're celebrating something special, maybe a wedding anniversary or a honeymoon or a birthday, you might want to consider staying in the top floor in the presidential suites. Now the rooms are a little on the pricey side. They're like $700 a night. But you know what they do, Rose? You know what they do? You know what they do? They put a chocolate on your pillow every night. Oh yeah, I'm talking that good chocolate too. I know. Gene, what do we do? Go left here? Okay. Oh yeah. I'll tell you more about that in a moment. But as you guys noticed, we just made a left here, but you know what? If we hadn't turned left, if we'd gone straight for about 6 miles, then made a left-hand turn, went another mile, made another left-hand turn, do you know where we'd be? Not here. Silver Dollar City. How many of you guys been to Silver Dollar City before? Alright. Probably some of you guys are going to go before you go home. But if you haven't been there before, it's an 1880s theme park, water park, adventure park, and you can literally spend all day long there and still not get to see everything. There's that much to see or do. Anybody ridden a roller coaster out there? I like to go out there and stand underneath the roller coaster and collect all that loose change falling out of your pocketbook. Yeah. Well, guys, that's Table Rock Lake out there. We're going to be going out there in a little while. But first of all, we have to cross Table Rock Dam, and we are on the dam right now. Now, Table Rock Dam is 1.25 miles long. It is a concrete and earth dam. Table Rock Lake is a very long lake. It's about 79 miles long. But from this shoreline right here to the other side, it's one of the widest spots on the lake. Table Rock Lake is a warm water, deep water, bass fishing lake. But the water at the base of the dam, way up here to our right, well, that water up there is pretty deep. In fact, it's about 200 feet deep. And that far down, the water's cold. And it stays cold all year long. But that's also where the water goes through the dam, through the turbines, comes out on the other side, which is Lake Taneycomo. And by the way, you guys on the right-hand side, you'll get a better view of Lake Taneycomo when we return. Now, the water in Lake Taneycomo stays between 48 and 52 degrees all year long. You do not want to go swimming down there. That water's cold. That is a shallow water, cold water trout fishing lake. So we have cold water fishing to the left, warm water fishing to the right. It's a fisherman's delight out here. I want to show you another thing that's very interesting out here over there to your right. That's the Dewey Short Visitor Center. 3 very important things to remember about the Dewey Short Visitor Center. Number 1, it's free. Number 2, it's air conditioned. Number 3, they got bathrooms. So yeah. But they've got a lot of very interesting exhibits inside. You can sit down and watch a 30-minute film showing you the construction of Table Rock Dam. A lot of interesting information about the early days of Branson in that film also. And if you're feeling a little spunky and you're thinking, I'd like to take a walk, they got a hiking trail that starts back there, it follows the shoreline, goes all the way down to Table Rock State Park. It's about 4 miles long, round trip. Now you guys from South Dakota, I can see confusion on your face. I think I know what it is. You're thinking to yourself, who is Dewey Short? I'll tell you. Dewey Short was a congressman here in Missouri in the 30s, the 40s, and the 50s, and he was responsible for getting Table Rock Dam built, so they named the visitor center after him, the Dewey Short Visitor Center. Although, Rose, you know what? Dewey Short's mother's maiden name, you know what it was? Long. Yeah, you can't even make that kind of stuff up. True story. Yeah, that's kind of the long and the short of that story, too, isn't it? Yeah. Hey, all this land to your right, that's all part of Table Rock State Park. They've got a huge marina in there, large camping grounds, picnic areas, go climb a hill then? He was like, no, that's not a hill leader. I said, well, what would you call that in Montana? He said, we'd probably call that a scenic overlook. Well, Missouri's known for a lot of things. Tall Mountains is not one of them. Although we did have one president that came from Missouri. You guys know who that was, right? Harry Truman. Harry Truman was president when I was born. Harry Truman was the last person to be elected president of the United States without a college degree. Hey guys, as we go up the mountain, there's a lot of branches and limbs that are starting to encroach onto the side of the trail here. So please watch your arms and hands. Make sure you keep them inside. We don't want anybody to get scratched as we go up the